Yeah, not really much.
Yeah.
I added this one chick I got on the PFM playlist.
Mm-hmm.
She's pretty dope, actually.
She's a singer?
Yeah, she's dope.
Oh, yeah, put me on.
This is Zanaya.
It's the righteous vigilante Jamon Creek, and you're tuning in to Minds Wide Open.
Hey, yo, check it out. This is Namestream, never mainstream. You're tuning in to Minds Wide Open Media.
Shout out to the Florida Vibe Directory. You're now listening to the best playlist in South Florida.
Yes, sir. You already know what time it is. It is another episode here of the Florida Vibe Directory. This is a very, very special episode that we got today. Of course, you know, somebody that I can say personally has done a lot to put me on. You know what I'm saying? That I'm very grateful for. You know, somebody that's been to the Minds Wide platform multiple times, show hella love.
Sir.
You know, has done shows, you know what I'm saying, from Dade, Broward, Palm Beach. I'd have been around with this gentleman right here, man. A very good dude, man. Y'all make sure y'all go ahead and check out the project. This is for you, not me. And we got the big homie in the motherfucking building, Ivan L.
Let's go.
Just Ivan L now, right? Because
Yeah.
no more rhymes well.
Nah, that's just like my user handles on social media. But
So
Ivan.
it's always been Ivan L, like on
Yeah,
like
it's always
Spotify
been,
and shit?
Yeah, it's always been Ivan L, but I just was a kid and I thought of Ivan L rhymes well as my user handle, and it just ended up being my user handle for everything.
So, I mean, let's
You feel me?
Let's start from there, man. Let's start from the origins. You feel me? So
Word.
Ivan is like your real name growing up, or
Yeah, that's my real government name. Sometimes I kind of regret making that my rap name, but fucking I was heavily influenced, like writing rhymes in like 03, 04. Kanye West comes out, that's his real name. So I'm like, oh yeah, I can go by my real name. Fuck it.
Right.
You feel me? Not thinking of the implications later. Like, damn, nigga, you can just Google me. You feel me?
facts.
But yeah, so that's always been my rap name. But it's interesting because my family, like, I'm Haitian, so I have a whole other family name, so that nobody in my family calls me Ivan. So it's kind of funny because like I didn't truly become Ivan until I started going to school, like middle school and high school, and freaking just rapping.
Right.
That's when I became like Ivan or more so Ivy. You know what I'm saying? Because in my home, nobody calls me that as far as family goes.
Right.
Yeah.
So when did you actually like pick up a pen or like start freestyling or just like start fucking with music? Period.
Shoot. I always wanted to dabble with rap since I was like, I'm talking about like a 5 or 6 year old because of my uncles. They was rappers. You get what I'm saying? I used to see them like DJing and shit in my grandmother's garage. And then fast forward, I had a school project. It was like a poetry project, and this lady was a fan of Tupac. So she starts.
Your teacher?
Yeah, my teacher, and she literally my 7th grade teacher, and she literally started like showing us his poetry, and I had no idea that this man was writing all this poetry and shit. So we had a project where we had to write 50 poems.
50?
Yeah, 50. 50 different type, but there was many different types of
Like
poems,
haikus?
like haikus, all sorts of shit.
Okay.
So, but she put us on the POC, and then I was like, all right, shit, like it's 50, right? So I'm like, damn, let me do some rhyming ones, you know, to knock it out. And then through that project, I realized like, oh shit, I'm kind of good with rhyming. And then from there, it just stuck, like, cause around that time, like, you know, I'm listening to like 50s on his run, Kanye's on the rise, different artists. You get what I'm saying? So it just was like, damn, like, let me let me dabble with this. And I started I remember downloading fucking instrumentals online.
What were you using to download, like LimeWire?
Fucking Kazaa. Yeah,
Kazaa.
LimeWire, one of those.
Shout
one of
out to
those.
Kazaa. One of the
Yeah.
underrated ones from the time.
For real. And used to fuck up all my family computers and shit like that. But
All
yeah.
that.
So I used to just pin to those. And I used to it's funny. I used to fucking you remember SoundClick? Like SoundClick still exists for beats and shit, but
I've
when
heard
niggas was rapping on SoundClick.
I've heard of SoundClick. I'm not all the way too familiar with it, but I've heard of it.
Well, I never really rapped on there, but I used to go on there and hear other people's raps and like, oh shit, like so I was deep on like the internet forums early, you know, especially hip hop forums. We used to have like on the forums you could like write out your rap and it'll be like a battle, but it was just straight lyrics.
Yo,
You get
I've
what I'm
heard
saying?
of that. I've heard of that
Yeah.
before. It's like you're email battling somebody.
Yeah,
right?
it was weird, but like it was just like.
But that's how you know motherfuckers really love this shit.
Exactly,
Like,
bro. This was like the early days, you know. So I was doing that type of shit, and then later, shout out to Blood Internet. We went to school together, bro, and we had creative writing class together. And one day, I would always rap for my class. You feel me? And one day, they knew me as like the one that would rap for the class. So he was like, "Yo, I just started making beats. I'll never forget
shit.
this shit." And I was like, "Word, like, let's go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's go to the studio." And I'm over here capping. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I've been to the studio a bunch of times with my uncles. I ain't never been.
Damn.
I just would hear they would go, you know, whatever."
yeah.
So
You heard about stories at the
yeah,
studio.
exactly. But so he's all hyped, and we end up going. I started like saving all my little lunch money. You feel me? Stop eating lunch because I'm using all
Damn.
my money to
How much
stack
was
up
how
for
much was the
studio.
fee for the studio at that time?
Dog, I don't remember, but for us being like 16, the fee was like it felt impossible.
Even if it
could-
was like
it should have been $1,000.
even if it was like $100 for like a 4 or 5 hour session,
Right.
You're just like,
it
damn.
felt like $1,000
Yeah.
at the time. You
No
get what I'm
cap.
saying? So it was just like not eating for weeks just to, you know. But I remember we went, and what's wild is we recorded at a studio. This dude clearly was only recording like rock people or whatever. We were probably the first hip hop people that he ever tried to record.
right?
But that shit was interesting. It was like an old white dude. Shout out to him. But it was cool. It was a cool experience. And then so we made that CD. Me and Khan, he produced all the beats. We did like a Gangstar type of thing where we put out this project. We did it in school, and we
Wow.
literally sold it in school. I'll never forget. We made like $500 off.
No fucking way.
Yeah, off
Middle
kids.
school or high school?
High school.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild, yo. I was just selling them
So
out the backpack.
at that point, you felt like you were the shit, huh?
I mean, yeah, it was cool as fuck. It
Bruh,
was like, damn, this shit.
Nobody can tell you shit.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm about to be a fucking rapper. The fuck is you talking
Yeah,
about?
I think from there it was just like yeah, I
I'm
got the
32
bug.
units.
Yeah, that shit was wild, bro.
I feel you though. No, I mean during that time, bro. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a very much an accomplishment, man. So
For
big,
real.
big shout out to you. Big shout out to Blood Internet
Shout out
for
to them,
having
for
that
real.
vision early.
Early,
So
yeah.
with you having that vision, like, was that always kind of your mentality towards this rap shit?
Yeah, I mean it grew over time more, but yeah, we was always just like, fuck it, like let's do it ourselves. Let's put it out. You
So
feel me?
after that, what happens? Like, I know y'all, the confidence was on 10 for sure.
Yeah, the
So
confidence.
What was
on
the next
10.
move after that?
Well, we took that money and went right back to the studio, so it didn't last long.
Right.
After that, we did a lot of recording at I mean not recording. We did a lot of performances for all the talent shows. Like this was around the time where Florida was getting like hurricane after hurricane. So like our school would do fundraisers for all the victims of the hurricanes. So each fundraiser is basically a talent show.
Right.
So I'm performing at all of them, and it was crazy too. My progression with performing because I went from being a kid that like literally I used to rap and the mic stand would just be here with the mic in it, and I would just rap. No movement, no holding the mic.
Nothing.
But then by the end of that time period, I'm holding the mic, I'm rocking it, I'm like walking the stage like a real rapper. Like it was cool. So yeah, after that we just started performing a lot. And then from there it was kind of like, you know, you're still in high school, so it was kind of like a wall for a second, like, oh, I don't know what else to do. Like we performing at talent shows, we did a little CD. That's about it. So it took after high school, when I started college and stuff, like fucking, you know, that's when and Khan started college too. He went to UM, so we were like separated for a bit. So that's when I started like, let me try to record myself. I started like meeting other producers. I started going to this like local shit that was in Broward and Coral Springs. Shout out to this dude Renda Ryder. He's actually a big like graffiti mural artist now.
Yeah?
But he used to host those shows.
Okay.
So I know him from way back. And yeah, I used to perform at his little open mics. I forget which days they were, but it was like a weekly open mic type thing. It still wasn't even like a hip hop type of show, but I was like one of the few rappers that would pull up. He was like mad supportive. And then from there, I just started accumulating a crew. Yeah, more so a crew, because then, you know, my homies that were always friends with me from high school, now they start getting interested in the music, and we start like rapping for real and taking it serious. So it was an interesting growth from there. I started performing on South Beach back in the day. Like we used to do that every week.
Wait, talk about that a little bit more.
South Beach was wild. Like, bro, I wasn't even 21, and none of us were, bro. So, fuck.
And this is like a more hip hop scene.
Yeah,
there, or
this is my first time in a more like where I'm not like one of the few rappers in the building. Like, no, this is a hip hop club.
is it like club or like more like on some like
It's
like
a
some
club.
underground type shit? Like people there for the music more.
No, they're not there for the music, but it's like an underground club where, because like this is around the time of like Club Mansion,
Okay.
and shit like that, right? So there's more popping clubs. So this is just this Greek guy that owned this club, but he got one of the smaller clubs on South Beach. But this is when this is like peak South Beach where you can blast your music and all that, like not like how it is now. So we showing up every week. We got to go through hell with the doorman because he's giving us fucking hell to let us in because we're not 21. But we like, bro, we're booked.
You know, like, my name's on the fucking flyer.
Right. The owner's busy. The guy who booked me is doing whatever in the club. So we got to muscle our way every week. We started by just paying him off. And then by the fourth or fifth week, like...
He already knew y'all.
Yeah, he knew y'all, so he showed love. But then sometimes if we brought too many people, he started giving us problems again, and we got to pay him off some more. Like,
right.
But that whole experience taught me a lot because, like I said, nobody was in there for music like that. So when we were performing, basically I started off as like a backpack type of rapper.
Right.
Like Mos Def, Common, these were like
Your
the rappers I
influences.
wanted to be like, you know? And then when I started having to perform on South Beach every week, it was like, no, that's not going to fly here. You have to make some shit that's going to make the club rock.
Right.
Or because literally what would happen is you do a song they ain't like, they would just walk the fuck out.
Wow.
Yeah, like literally. It's just, it is what it is.
They're trying to talk about the revolution and shit.
Yeah, nah, that's not happening here, you know? So I learned quickly, like, okay, you have to be diverse. And that's what started my, like, diverse style of being able to, like, rap
With everything.
on anything, yeah. So we went back to the drawing board, like, switched the style up.
And this is like without Blood Internet. This is just
This is without Blood Internet.
crew.
It's just new crew, just fucking around. Shout out. And these are, I won't even say new crew because these are still people I went to school with and grew up
Right,
with. But
okay.
It's just like now they're doing music
Right.
too. So like shout out to Rico, Real One. That's when we was like fucking hanging out every day. My boy Manny, you know what I'm saying? All those people. So yeah, like fucking, that was an experience. You feel me? Being in the club every week in South Beach, seeing people do coke in front of me for the first time.
Wow.
Prostitutes was hanging out.
And
Like,
you're like 17.
yeah, like 17, 18, 19. Yeah, seeing prostitutes for like real life prostitutes. Like, and then it was weird because like, you know, I'm in the club now every week. I'm part of the scene, right? So like the prostitutes know who you is. Like, oh, what up? Like, you know what I'm
Yo,
saying?
kill it. You gonna kill it tonight, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like it was just like, yeah, this is what it is. You know.
So what was the first song that you made that was like for the club? Like, take me to that like drawing board session.
Shit, I can't even remember. Cause we had I've always been like a person who records a lot. So we just was. Because that time I had the studio in my closet, so everybody would come to my crib to record. So we were recording like crazy, to be honest. So I can't even remember like the first song that was like a banger, but I just remember those moments. Like Rico had this one song that I was on, or maybe I would hype man for it, that would shut the club down every time we did it. I had this one joint. And none of these joints you'll ever hear because they're horrible quality now. Like when you go back,
Yeah.
but like it was like.
For that time,
It was
going up.
it was moments where it's like, okay, like this is where I could take it. You feel me?
So through that, you kind of started to build a name for yourself in this music thing.
Yeah, I guess a little bit. It was still like kind of like punching in the dark. You feel me? But it was just like the start of like, okay, like this is like, and shout out to DJ Twin and this dude C4 Ghost, the real name Daniel Brillant.
Government.
Yeah, because I don't think he's like in the music industry anymore. So I just want to give him his props.
Yeah.
But those two guys and my uncle, they started giving me like an education on the game at that point, and that's when I learned different things. We was doing photo shoots, different things like that I didn't really know because you come into this game naive. That's why I
think that it's all about the music.
Yeah.
I feel like that's every early rappers
facts.
Biggest thing that they run into, that it's not all about the music.
Facts, correct. Because I think that's why I compare hip hop especially to pro wrestling.
Definitely.
Because it's literally like being a little kid and you're thinking John Cena's really beating the shit out of niggas, and he's undefeated, he's the champ, he the most dangerous nigga on earth.
Or you're like, yo, this guy is 7 feet. How the fuck is this nigga 5'11" and beat him?
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it goes from that to when you realize oh no, it's scripted, and okay, this is how it really works. It's the same for hip hop. So getting behind the curtain and learning all that other shit
And
was damn.
I feel like when it comes to hip hop and pro wrestling, it's two of the smartest fan bases.
Absolutely. Agreed.
Where it's
Fully.
it's impossible almost to force feed them something.
Exactly.
Because both fan bases can see through it, and a hip hop fan will quickly call you an industry plant if they feel like your shit is even a little bit too forced. You know
what's wild? I got called the industry plant by this guy. Shout out to him though. He's a cool dude. But I was in Chicago doing a show. He was like, yo, because, I go to Chicago a lot. He's like, nah, how many times you come here a year? Nah, bro, you an industry plant.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, I promise you, bro, I'm not signed, dog. He's like, nah, your music fire. You flying out here you doing this shit all on your budget? I'm like, yeah. He's like, nah, bro, you're an industry plant. I'm like, nah.
Yo, there got to be somebody secretly funding.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it shit was funny, but I was like, yo, I must be doing something right. If somebody were to think that, salute. That means I'm on the right path.
How did you first start to make your way out there to Chicago?
To Chicago. So, okay, basically, to branch out of Florida, I started touring, and shout out to they were formerly known as Dope E&T, but now they are the people that did Roll Loud. Yeah. So I went on tour with Currency in 2017. That was our first taste of oh shit, this is what the road could be like. You feel me? And it just opened my eyes, damn, and then Currency is one of my favorite rappers, if not my favorite rapper. So it was okay, getting to watch him and how the system works and how he's doing it independently. I was like, word, this shit, it just showed me oh shit, this shit can be done.
So just seeing him do it night in and night out.
Yeah, it was inspirational. So from there, I started doing my own tours, and before my Chicago connects, we used to do it raw, where it was just yo, I would just, pose as my own booking agent. And then I would I'm really good at this too, still to this day. I'll find venues in the cities I want to go to.
Right.
I'll contact the venue or the booking or figure out okay, who throws hip hop shows there, and then contact them, and then we just get to chopping it up and try to figure this out. And then I would just line it up. It's also looking at the map and geographics to figure out okay, what will work next to do 2 days later and shit like that.
Right.
So we were doing that all ourselves at first, and then through traveling and shit like that. I remember Rolling Loud weekend, matter of fact, to take it full circle, I met one of my boys meets this girl who's who's connected to this company Every Evolve, shout out to them, in Chicago, Rhymester, Rhymester.
Okay, yes, of course.
So she's like, oh, yeah. And we were already going to Chicago for a show. We were already going on another tour. And she was like, oh, you guys are going, you should connect with my peoples, da-da-da. And I'm like, all right, cool. We'll do the show. So then we go on a little tour. We do the show with them, and it was cool as fuck. It was a venue that was atop a pizza place.
Oh, wow.
So we get to the show at first, and we're like, I don't know about this shit, because it's at a pizza place. We're like, oh, this is going to be whack. We go upstairs, and it's actually lit up there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the show went great, and they showed mad love. They were cool as fuck. And then from there, me and Rhymester just built a connection. That's one of my brothers in this thing, because I don't know. I feel like we kind of the same person, just in different cities. You get what I'm saying? So he kind of had the same thing going on in Chicago as far as throwing gigs and you know, having a whole crew of people around him that, you know, he's getting to work collectively and things like that. So he's seen I was on the same tip, but just in Florida. And from there, we just like bonded real well.
To kind of create that.
Yeah, we about the same shit. So it was like, yo, I'll book you down here anytime. Oh, I'll book you over here. All right, cool. So we just started going crazy with booking each other. And then from there, that network in Chicago is just so crazy. I got to meet so many people. Like, Chicago is truly like an artist market. I'll give that city that. Like, the way they work together, like, and it's crazy that they have such a bad reputation as far as like the media goes with all the killings and shootings and all that. But really, man, they really work together. They really hold each other down, and I really love that. And they come out for their independent shows. They come out. Like, I'll never forget, bro. I got booked for a show out there once, and it was like a 3-night stretch. So the third night was a Monday show. Not expecting much, whatever. It's cold outside, it's snowing and shit. It was in February. We driving around, they dropping off flyers and doing promo.
So it's a different style of promotion over there. Like, people still
they still on the hand-to-hand and shit.
Grassroots type.
Yeah, exactly. So they doing the promo. I'm in the car with them riding. Then I see something that says Roddy Ricch, and this was when he was on his first album run, so he's booming, is in the city tonight. He's doing a show. I'm like, in my head, because I'm going off of Florida vibes.
You're already like,
oh, the show's done. Like,
yeah,
this shit's dead.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody coming to see this. But I'm like, oh, it's cool. This is the last night of the stretch. It's cool. Like, I'll rock for 20 people. I don't give a fuck. So in my mind, I'm already locked and loaded. Like, okay, this show's dead. Fast forward at the show, bro, packed out. Like, I'm talking about packed out. Like, you would have swore I was like a gold selling artist or some shit. It was crazy. And I just was like, what the fuck? You feel me? So shout out to Chicago. Like, they'll come out. Like, and I think partially it could be the weather too. Like, yo, if you cold as fuck, why I be cold and miserable at home when I could go and get some drinks?
Yeah,
see a girl or something.
Warm me up.
Yeah, so
you also do shows like in Milwaukee area too, right?
Yeah, I just got booked there for the first time earlier this. Was it this year that I went to? I can't. Yeah, it was early this year because it was cold as shit too. And yeah, I'm actually going back the first weekend of June. Shout out to my boy David Lopez, Passion Park Entertainment. He booked me through the connection with Rhymester because Milwaukee's like an hour and a half from Chicago.
Yeah, and they got a nice budding underground scene out there.
They do. I was going to say, like,
very interesting. I'm liking a lot of what I'm seeing coming out of that area for sure.
Bro, like, I came into it like, man, I'm just, like, curious on, like, what the fuck does a Milwaukee rapper sound like? You know, I was very curious on that, and they're dope as fuck. It was cool as fuck just to see the atmosphere because they're hungry as fuck. They remind me of Broward before Broward got like the recognition that it has now, where we have like X and Kodak and other artists to show for. Like, before we kind of had that, it was like, yo, everybody like is working hard to like kind of put, you know, the city on the map. Mm-hmm. So shout out to Milwaukee. I really love the energy there. We sold a lot of merch in there, and yeah, I'm going back.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, if you want to come with me to Milwaukee, let me know. Like, we'll figure it out. Because it's a good vibe. I fuck with them.
I definitely want to see what's popping out there. I definitely want to see what's popping out there. Let's skip around here. Let's talk about the current project. I guess we'll start there.
Word. Let's do it.
Actually, before we get there, you have over 300 songs released, right?
Yeah. Oh, I think the official count is 324 songs now.
324 songs released.
And that's all. Yeah, that's on Spotify. But there's like other shit on SoundCloud.
Let's talk about the work ethic.
Word.
So, do you think it's more of it that it's your work ethic, or more of it that you just have like the freedom to just actually release what you made?
I think it's both, and also it's no fear. Because I know a lot of artists, and no disrespect to them, because you guys all work hard, but I feel like sometimes artists can fear, what if I'm not good enough? What if no one likes this? What if no one's going to hear this? Or I don't know, all these what ifs. I don't really have those. I don't really work in those because I've always said this, like, I'll make another one.
Right.
Like, you know, I feel like some people are kind of afraid of, like, their own music as far as like, oh, this is a hit, I have to work this song for like a year. And it's like, sometimes they don't work like that. Some, like, especially in this day and age, it's more of a marathon. People want to kind of have the knowledge that, oh, okay, you're an actual talented artist, you can do this again. Because people really don't like, okay, you're a one-hit wonder possibly. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, yeah, I feel like I just don't have the fear of, like, putting out shit and
It not going.
It not
well. Like,
going.
you just thinking about like putting it out and seeing what happens.
seeing what
But
happens.
you're already working on the next one.
Right. Like, I literally was just in the studio last night. And it's not that, like, I don't feel like my music is throwaway either, because I definitely think, like, especially this album is, like, super duper high concept. But I'm also a person that I love music just because it's not even about, like, all of this, even though I had to learn all of, like, the business end and all that. But it's just, I'm still an artist at heart. You get what I'm saying? So I'm creating sometimes just for me, for my own, like, mental health and my sake. You feel me?
Where?
So this is just something I do for fun. And that's why I look at it as I'm building a body of work that maybe it's going to, maybe I'm on the cusp of, like, blowing the way I think I should. But at the same time, maybe I'm building some shit where it's like, this is some Van Gogh type shit. Like, you feel me? 20 years from now, they're going to be like, yo,
Gonna
look
be
at this thing. It's
appreciated.
like, exactly. So who knows? But I do know this. I own my publishing and all that. So eventually it's going to make some cheese in some way. Somehow.
No, I mean, you have good numbers, like on
Yeah,
Spotify and
absolutely,
shit.
absolutely.
So what do like those like checks or those payouts kind of look like?
Well, Spotify and all them streaming companies, they really got to step it up, because when I sit back and I think, like, okay, my level of output, my level of talent, not to toot my own horn, but if I put myself in, like, if I was, like, in an era like 99, early 2000s, I'd be eating right now if people were buying majority, like, CDs or whatever to, like, listen to the music. Like, man, I'd be eating compared to, like, they make it so accessible. And shout out to them. It helps. It's a gift and a curse, because it's accessibility is
People
is
can listen
key.
to it.
Right. But at the same time, the payout is not what it should be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, if you sell 1 million records or stream 1 million records, for instance, I think that check is only like 5 bands or something, or maybe it's like 5 to 8 bands. I don't know exactly what the payout is, but it's just a couple G's instead of, like, what it should be. You feel
Right.
me? So, I mean, shout out to them. Like, I love the payout in a sense, because it's always cool to be like, wow, I put this out. And then when I go to, like, cash out, it's like, okay, cool. Like,
There's something there.
yeah, this motherfuckers paying me to, just listen to my shit. So that feeling is cool. Like, okay, I'm gonna pay a couple bills with this. But at the same time, it's like, damn, I know, like,
This
if
shit ain't a
was-
hobby. I'm trying to make this shit a career.
Right.
motherfucker.
Like, if it was sales, I know it would translate to so much more.
a lot more.
So that's why I always make physical product, because I still think that is still key. And I think sometimes that's why people don't think about music as importantly as it is, because I just stream that. So that's why I make physical stuff. I make CDs. I made the comic book, because it's like I still believe in physical product and the importance of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, speaking of product, how did the whole Dead Rapper Society merch line come about?
All right, so that's a brand that I started in 2011, crazy enough.
Peak blog era.
Yeah, exactly. And I've always been a kid that was, like, in love with streetwear culture, like, hip hop and skatewear, like, had a baby, man.
Always.
Skate culture, and it is streetwear, you know what I'm saying? So I always loved that. I was a kid growing up watching the X Games and being fascinated with that. Tony Hawk Pro Skater, you feel me? And then being a hip hop person on top, it just made sense for me. So, and then that era, Karma Loop.
Of course.
You feel me?
course, man.
I was that kid on Karma Loop
I always
all
wanted
day.
to be a Karma Loop model.
Oh.
Always, bro. I always wanted to be on that site with the fucking crooks and castles.
Yeah, dog. I just would spend so many hours on that website every day, checking the new drops, what's on there, and then just being obsessed with all those brands, bro. Like, my favorites were like Diamond Supply, Crooks and
my
Castles
gosh.
was dope. Obey with the hat.
Underrated, but Undercrown. Remember Undercrown?
Undercrown was dope.
Undercrown used
I
to
had
do all
some
the cool
Undercrown
shit
stuff.
with like Slick Rick and
Yeah.
fucking Mike Tyson and all. They used to do hella.
They
cool
had
shit, bro.
dope shit. There's a couple out there. Pink Dolphin was cool.
Pink Dolphin was like a little bit towards the end of it.
Towards the end,
it
but
was
they were
still,
cool.
It was still, it was still cool. It was
Yeah.
cool for sure.
Freaking, there's so many, man. So
There's so fucking many, bro.
I love that whole, like, just
A-Life, gotta shout out
A-Life
bro.
was dope. I have some shit. I have some old shit in the closet. Crazy.
Oh, Obey too, man.
Yeah, Obey was dope.
Obey had it. When they had it, they really had it. And the crazy thing is,
Yeah, with them hats, it was like,
I didn't know that the dude is actually like a very respected artist.
yeah.
And I didn't know that. He's like legendary in graffiti and shit.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So yeah, that's why I had so much fun recently when I went to Fairfax. It's like a kid in a candy store, bro.
Looking at all this classic shit.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what made me start Dead Rappers Society. I just really wanted to do a streetwear brand, and shout out to my man Garrett. We started that together back in the day in 2011. He was like my engineer at the time, and he was big into like skate culture and things like that. So we started that together. I didn't really know what I was doing at all. Like I just knew I wanted to do a streetwear company, but like I didn't really know how it worked. I feel like now there's a lot more like how-tos and
there's a lot more information out there.
Information. Yeah, exactly.
Before it was such a big gap between you and like let's say like a manufacturer or even like a printing or even music and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just such a big gap. Like you had to know somebody that knew it had a studio.
Exactly. It was more
print shop. It was a lot. It was a lot more gatekeeping.
Yep. So pretty much, it worked out a little bit for like a year or two. Mm-hmm. We sold some shirts and things like that, but I just felt like I didn't know enough, because like, man, if I knew what I knew now, I would have done it differently, but still thankful for it. So then I let it like it just sat for a bit, like for some years. Like I didn't do anything with the brand. And then I think it started in 2020. Yeah, 2020. I think, or was it? Yeah, I think it was 2020. I just started saying like, fuck it. Like that was the name itself was cool as fuck to me. Dead Rapper Society, like that's dope. So I was like, yo, I need to do something with this. Yeah, I'm like, and then what happened is I started touring more, like doing so many shows outside of my region. I'm like, okay, aside from the CDs, I need stuff to sell. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's about products. So I'm like, yo, let me bring my merch line back. Let me start making some hats. Let me start, like my design game got better because that was the gap for me is I didn't have any like graphic skill. So it was like, all right, I want to do this cool brand, but I don't even know how to make graphics like that. You get what I'm saying? But now I feel like, all right, I got a little something. I got some skills. So it just made sense to bring it back. You know what I mean? So it's been 3 years now, and it's been dope. We got the website. You've seen the hats. And I just, a couple. Yeah. And I just have fun making it. Honestly, it's like really fun for me because, like I said, I'm just a streetwear kid. So it's
just living out multiple dreams in one.
Exactly, bro.
And that's what I feel like being a rapper. That's really what is available for you. Is just a lot of side quests. You feel me? Like you just go and you're like, yo, I like to do this, and you can always incorporate everything back into the music.
Bro, actually, you just blew my mind with that because that's real as fuck. I have just been embarking on multiple side quests of dreams that I've had that I've wanted to do and just accomplishing it. That's crazy.
I'm telling you.
Like, that's crazy that you said that, bro.
And even sometimes, we as artists, we have to sit back and look at the motherfucking stat sheet.
Word.
You feel me? Look up at the scoreboard sometimes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit that you've done, and we're just always worried about
the next thing.
Exactly. Like, yo, like I had a homie yesterday at the party. Mm-hmm. We were talking and shit, and he was like, bro, like from where you were at last year to now, like, bro, like you bossed the fuck up.
Word.
He's like, bro, like you probably don't even notice it because you still think that, like, you need to be doing more, bro.
Right.
Like for where you're at now, like you're doing really fucking good. And like that shit, like, you feel me? Sometimes you got to hear that. Because we're always thinking about, yo, I need to get here, I need to get there, I need this, I need that. But in the moment, it's like, bro, what you're doing now is memories that you're creating for the future. Because in 5 years from now, even if we are doing way better, we're still going to talk about, yo, them shows at Tough Times. Where all those people were there, and it's like, you feel me, like, caught all those people early, you know?
Facts. Or just, yo, shout out to all the artists that I've been booking down here, too, because you're right. When you say caught all them people early, because I strongly believe, like, man, all of them are going to be huge. You know what I'm saying? To the Angelica Norris, Samantha Loren, Rihanna, So Relevant, man. Millie Smoke, she's already like going to the moon. So I can only imagine a year from now, like all those artists, man. I'm just thankful to even be associated with them this early. You know what I'm saying? And I done see, and the thing is, I done seen it, bro. I could tell you stories about people that already done blown up. You know, I knew. Do you know who Ghostman is?
Ghostman, like who rap with like Puya and all them?
Yeah, yeah, man. I knew him early. I'm
Yeah?
talking about. We shot his first video. Me and
Damn.
my cousin shot his first video in Pompano in the hood.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give out your government, dog, but cool ass dude. I knew him before he had the rap name Ghostman. He went by something else at first. He went by Ill Biz. I'll put that out there.
Ill Biz.
Ill Biz. But nah, he was a cool dude. Always a nice, respectful cat. He came from like Palm Beach or whatever. He would drive down and fuck with us. Cool guy, man. And it was amazing to see where he's at right now. You feel me?
Yeah.
So yeah, it can happen.
No,
Literally.
I mean, it's very special what you're doing, bro.
I appreciate
Because
that.
even if with you booking artists, you're giving them the confidence to keep going.
Word. Yo, another one. You know I booked Rob Banks for his first show?
You're fucking lying.
Dead ass. He got kicked out because he was too young and he was drinking in there.
What?
I remember being like, damn, bro, there's nothing I could do for you, bro. They like,
Damn.
I
Wait.
gotta keep doing the show or they gonna stop the whole show over you, bro.
Let's talk about that. So, how did you first get like tapped into his music?
I wasn't. So I knew some homies. Oddly enough, this was like, I don't remember what year it was, but I knew some dudes that I worked with. I worked with one of them, and we had a mutual. I worked at Old Navy for a bit. So somebody knew him. I can't remember exactly who, but basically what they were trying to do, they was trying to do like a Wu-Tang type thing, and it was with 3 groups.
Three groups?
It was 3 groups, 3 2-man groups, and it was going to be a 6-person super group.
Wow.
Is what they were doing, and Rob Banks was part of that.
Wow.
So, because you know, Rob Banks, he was part of this thing. I think Tuesday through something, or like, you know what the group was called, him and somebody else.
Okay.
And shout out to that dude. I follow him and I forgot his name, so no disrespect. My mind is just slipping right now, but he was part of a 2-man group. So what they wanted to do was, I was throwing a show. I was known for like throwing little shows in Broward and shit. So they wanted to be on the show. So I booked the 3 groups or whatever, or maybe they were going to perform as a super group, one of them. So yeah, I booked them. I didn't meet Rob yet. I just knew the other homies. So yeah, I met Rob for the first time that night. And I just remember he was like wearing these pants that looked like pajamas. It was it was weird. I was like, yo, this dude was dressed weird as fuck. But he was ahead of his time. Shout out to him. So yeah, like he got kicked out the club like literally probably 30 minutes after he got there because he was just drinking.
Wow.
It was crazy, yeah. And what's crazy is I ended up meeting him later at the BET Hip Hop Awards. But I didn't tell him that story. It was just interesting, like vibing with him. And it's like, bro, I already like met
Damn,
you,
what the
like,
fuck you
years
doing at
ago,
the
nigga.
BET Hip Hop Awards?
I got an invite, and I got to meet a few people. It was interesting.
Wait, who invited you?
I can't say.
Can't disclose the plug.
But I ended up going there with my boy Lucky. Shout out to him. And yeah, we seen a lot of people. I seen fucking Khaled, fucking Johnny Dang.
Damn.
Which Johnny Dang, boy, I thought I seen Diamonds before I seen that nigga, bro. Like
Yeah.
his shit was like dancing like
Crazy.
Like I ain't never seen some shit like that in real life. Like that shit was wild. Like Busta Rhymes, he looked scary though, so I didn't want to. I wanted to say what's up to him, but I heard about Busta. Like he like will yell at you.
I have heard that too. Actually,
Yeah,
you
so
gotta
I was
catch
like,
him correctly.
Exactly. So I was like,
You
nah,
gotta
I'm
hit him
not
with the,
rolling
yo,
up on him and getting embarrassed.
Beloved.
You feel me? But I got to see him from afar. I was like, word, that's Busta.
Yeah.
Fucking, I think they were honoring that year Luke. I think they were, honoring Uncle Luke.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that was cool to see that live. It was a cool, and I think Cardi performed too, but this was like when she just had Bodak Yellow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Wow.
And I also met Denzel that night, but I had also met him previously because I opened up for him once, but he probably didn't remember that. But I met him at the show, him and his mom, and that was cool too. That's when I found out he didn't smoke. I guess I didn't peep
Yeah.
or whatever, so I tried to pass him a joint. He was like, nah, I don't smoke. And I was like, you don't smoke?
That's crazy.
With the shit that you make? Like,
Hey, that's how he says ultimate.
yeah, word. But I would have just thought like, yo, this is a smoking ass dude right here.
Word.
But yeah, man. So long story short, like all them people from Tough Times, I'm fairly certain that they're gonna blow up.
So before we get up out of here, let's talk about the album.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk about it. So take me to the beginning process. So how did you even start to like find these songs, or like did you already come in with what came first, the music or the concept?
Damn. Well, some of the music came first, but definitely like 2-3 songs into it, the concept. And the title, This For Me, Not You, basically, like sometimes, and I'm sure you've had this, and other musicians that are listening probably have had these moments where, you know, you're doing your thing, you kind of have like a plan for yourself, and you're working at it. But then you meet people, it could be friends, it could be family or whatever, that like, and they're not even in the industry, right? But, you know, but everybody listens to music, so they just got their own ideas. They're like, well, you should do this on TikTok, or you should try this or that.
Always.
And and it's like, bro, like, and the way they be talking to you sometimes is if
They make
like,
it sound so fucking easy.
that they make it sound easy as fuck, and 2, you making it seem like, bro, if I don't sell 1 million records, I'ma die. And it's like, and that, you know, shout out to you if you feel that way, but it's like, bro, it's so much deeper than that, bro. Like, I actually love doing what I do, so, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit go platinum or triple platinum, it don't make a difference to me. Like, I want to do this enough to like pay all my bills and live
take care of
and
your
live
family,
well,
of course.
Right, but it's just like, bro, it's deeper than that. So like, stop hitting me with these like schemes. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, bro, like, I don't want to make that type of record. I don't want to just make a record that sound like Lil Baby, like, or and shout out to Lil Baby. I'm not dissing him.
No, I know what you
but
mean.
you
though.
get what I'm saying? Like, they look at like whatever's the hottest thing, like, do that. Why don't you do that? And it's like, bro, like, that is so artistically devoid, bro. Like, just look at what's hot and I'm gonna make that. Like, that's whack, bro. I'm gonna just do what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, make it as catchy as possible.
As true to you as possible. And it's going
Right.
to be everything that you need it to be.
Right. So that's why I just looked at it like, yo, I'm going to make some music on this album that I've always wanted to make. And I don't give a fuck if nobody likes it or if 1,000 people like it. So that's why I named it This For Me, Not You. And that's why I'm like, a lot of these songs on here are so alternative and like, shit. Some of these songs are borderline like rock songs and different types of vibes. Like, because I just looked at it as this album right here is the one where I don't give a shit how nobody feel. This is for me to bump. You feel me? I just so happen to be putting it out in a way that y'all can also enjoy it as well. But
Right.
it's truly for me.
But it's like truly you being an artist.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like,
And how did you pick the people that you wanted on the album?
a lot of them was just through meeting them recently as of like the last year. And meeting them, seeing them perform live at Tough Times was definitely like a big influence for sure. Like Angelica, meeting her and seeing how she works, man, she was like, she's incredible. You feel me, at what she does.
She really is.
Yeah, so like it was awesome to like do 2 songs with her for this album and work with her, and she got to mix one of my records too, so that was awesome. And then Samantha Loren, that record with her was like fire. I'm so glad that we got to work together because I've always like enjoyed her performances, but to actually make a record with her was really cool. I got to work with Kira. She's an artist from ATL.
Shout out to the homegirl. She was hella cool.
Yeah, she's hella cool. And I think that's like our 5th record together, but you know, it's always a blast working with her because she's like cool as hell, very chill and friendly. Who else I got on here? Oh, my boy Beretta Biz. That's like Life Gang family right there. We've been working together since 2016, so that's the homie. Then we got my boy Brizzle, of course, that's like my brother, so he's gonna be on damn near every project. That's mandatory.
Black Prophet.
Oh, Black Prophet. Interesting story with
He's
Black.
from Cali, right?
No, Black Prophet is from Queens, Jamaica, Queens, New York. Got to get that right.
Because it was another
That's
artist
my
that
guy.
you had that was from Cali though at Tough Times.
At Tough Time, somebody. Oh yeah. My guy Tony London.
Tony London.
Yeah,
Shout out to
Tony London's from Cali. But yeah, Black Prophet. Interesting story with Prophet, bro. We went from like homies back in the day to then we were like beefing hard body like
Damn.
for a while. Yeah, like for real. That was like my realest rap beef ever. You get what I'm saying? But then we ended up piecing it up years later, and that's my boy to the end, like for real. So that's why we always I always will do records with Prophet, man, because I respect his art.
So that's
kind
of why you guys did a battle in the comic.
Yeah, in the comic, to kind of represent that. But yeah, that's my guy, man, for real. And he killed that verse, for real.
That's awesome.
If I forgot anyone, forgive me, but I think that's all the guests on the album. But shout out to Ghost and Ace, man. They provided like a lot of the production on this thing. Yeah, Face Ghost. Yeah, they like I told them, they're like the backbone of all my albums now. You know what I'm saying? Because they provide a lot of those album cuts that like, you know, that might not be a single, but like, yo, this
is gonna fill the project
exactly.
out.
You're gonna go back to this shit. Exactly.
Yeah,
bro.
no, I fuck with Face Ghost, man. Both of them, man. Ghost and Ace.
Yeah, both of them.
Great guys.
Great dudes, cool as fuck, and they work. They workaholics.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And then my guy Rexstar from Palm Beach Records, he did a lot of the engineering also on the other tracks that weren't produced by Face and Ghost. And he's a monster too, man. Rexstar at Palm Beach Records is like special, bro. He got that ear. He did the No Flocking joint for Kodak.
Oh wow.
And he did some other joints for Kodak too, but I don't really remember like which exact joints, but I know he did No Flocking.
And
so
you met Kodak as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm from Pompano, so I done seen him multiple times, like before the fame.
Yeah.
So it's always cool though. I love seeing his success, bro, because especially like being from the same city, like that's a beacon right there showing like, yo, you can
do this.
You can do this, bro. You can blow. You feel me? So shout out to him. I wish him continued success, man. Keep killing it. And yeah, I'm trying to get mine. You feel me?
It's coming soon, for real, though.
Yes, sir.
I'm very happy for you, IV, man. I'm very proud of everything that you're doing, man.
Appreciate that big time.
You know, we didn't really get to talk about it, but like I said, bro, you definitely are one of the people that is instrumental in putting me on. So, you know, for that, you know, I'm forever grateful. You know what I'm saying? Definitely.
Man, I'm thankful for you to come through and, you know what I'm saying, support the way you do and host the shows.
Yeah, man, gave me an opportunity to try something, you know, different.
And you murdered it. You feel me?
To support the culture, you know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely always grateful for that, man.
Absolutely.
We definitely got to get another show going very soon.
Oh, I'm going to talk to you about that after.
Very, very soon. Very, very soon you will see us together on a stage near you.
Yes, sir.
Please, y'all, make sure y'all go ahead and run the album the fuck up.
Let's go.
This for me,
not you. But you can still play it.
But you can still play it.
Man,
IV got some classics, man. Your Girl's Secret playlist.
Oh, man. That's a good one.
IV got some classics, man. So y'all just make sure y'all go on Spotify or Apple Music and just press play. Yep. I guarantee there'll be something
YouTube,
that you like.
Everything you got, we on there. So go
Dead Rapper Society, you feel me? The merch line, y'all make sure y'all go ahead and support Bro Life, the motherfucking gang.
Let's go.
Shout out to all the members of Bro Life.
Yes, sir. All the homies, Brezel.
Also, too, man, remember that one show that you threw at Blue Art and Buddy came through with the slushies?
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to the slushy guy. We didn't forget about you.
We didn't forget. That's my guy. We've been rocking for so long.
We got to bring him back soon for something.
Oh, you know what? The event that I'm going to talk to you about, that just popped in my head. There we go.
We need to bring Bro
I'm
back.
glad you said that.
That was a hit. It was a hit for sure.
And Dave just wants a slushie.
I do.
It's going to hit again this summer, I'm telling you.
It was a hit for sure. So y'all make sure y'all go ahead and get that. Man, you already know what it is, man. This has been the Florida Vibe Directory. I mean, if you're watching live, you might as well just go, you know, roll up something, get something to drink, chill out, because we about to be back on live in a few for Proximity FM.
Yes, sir.
You already know what time it is, man. We appreciate y'all coming through, fucking with us. Y'all make sure y'all have a great, safe weekend. IV in the motherfucking building. Anything you want to let the people know before we get up out of here?
Shit. Well, other than streaming the album, please follow me on Instagram, Ivan L. Rhymes Well, or you can follow me on any other platform because it's the same handle on everything down to the Tumblr. You feel me?
Down to the Tumblr.
So follow me.
And we gonna have, and of course, shout out to the motherfucking legend on the boards, Young Luke, Diafika Induce.
Yes, sir. Shout out to him for real.
In the motherfucking building. So yeah, we out this bitch, man. You already know what it is.
Yeah.
This is Zanaya.
It's the righteous vigilante Jamon Creek, and you're tuning in to Minds Wide Open.
Hey, yo, check it out. This is Namestream, never mainstream. You're tuning in to Minds Wide Open Media.
Shout out to the Florida Vibe Directory. You are now listening to the best playlist in South Florida.